Europe's sleeping giant just woke up and the world wasn't ready for what it became. Meet the newly upgraded Eurofighter Typhoon, a fighter jet that just leapfrogged an entire generation of technology to become one of the most lethal air superiority machines ever to slice through the skies. The aviation world was busy obsessing over American fifth-generation fighters and speculating about what China and Russia were building in secret. The Europeans were quietly transforming their already formidable Typhoon into something that has defense analysts scrambling to rewrite their threat assessments. This isn't just another incremental upgrade. This is a complete metamorphosis that has taken a fourth-generation plus fighter and injected it with technologies that blur the line between generations. Technologies that include AI-assisted decision support and automation, radar capabilities that can detect stealth aircraft, and weapons integration that would make even the most advanced adversaries think twice before engaging. The upgraded Typhoon isn't trying to catch up anymore, it's setting the pace. And here's what makes this story even more compelling. While other nations guard their cutting-edge fighters behind export bans and security clearances, the Typhoon represents a consortium effort between the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, and Spain. 4 nations, 1 vision, and a collaborative approach to air dominance that's producing results no one saw coming. The question isn't whether the upgraded Typhoon is impressive. The question is how it managed to shock a world that thought it knew exactly what this fighter was capable of. The crown jewel of the Typhoon upgrade program is undoubtedly the European Common Radar System Mark II, or ECRS Mark II, and calling it a game changer would be a massive understatement. This isn't your grandfather's radar system. This is an electronically scanned array that represents the cutting edge of sensor technology designed and built entirely in Europe without relying on American components or expertise. Here's why this matters. The ECRS Mark II is an active electronically scanned array radar, or AESA, that provides the Typhoon with multi-role capabilities that were simply impossible with its previous mechanically scanned systems. But what sets it apart from other AESA radars currently in service is its dual-role capability. It can simultaneously track air targets while conducting electronic warfare operations. Think of it as having eyes that can see in the dark while also blinding your opponent's vision at the same time. The radar was first tested in November 2022 aboard a BAE Systems Typhoon test aircraft, and the results exceeded even the most optimistic projections. Aviation Week reported that the system demonstrated the ability to detect and track low observable targets, which is military speak for stealth aircraft, at ranges that were previously thought impossible for a non-stealth platform. We're talking about a fighter that can potentially spot an F-35 or a Su-57 before they even know the Typhoon is in the area. But the ECRS Mark II isn't just about detection. The electronic warfare capabilities built into this system allow the Typhoon to jam enemy radars, disrupt communications, and create electromagnetic chaos on the battlefield while maintaining its own situational awareness. It's the equivalent of being able to shout while making your opponent deaf, and in modern air combat where information dominance is everything, this capability cannot be overstated. The United Kingdom's Royal Air Force is leading the charge on this upgrade, with plans to retrofit their entire Typhoon fleet with ECRS Mark II by 2030. Germany and Spain have also committed to the upgrade, recognizing that in an era where peer adversaries are fielding increasingly sophisticated stealth platforms, having a radar that can actually see them is worth its weight in gold. A fighter is only as good as the weapons it carries, and the upgraded Typhoon has been wielding one of the most advanced air-to-air missiles ever developed for several years now. The MBDA Meteor is a beyond visual range air-to-air missile that redefines what it means to have reach in aerial combat, and its integration with the Typhoon has been operational and continually upgraded to extract every ounce of capability from this lethal combination. Unlike traditional missiles that use solid rocket motors and glide to their targets after an initial boost, the Meteor employs a ramjet engine that provides sustained thrust throughout its flight. This means the missile doesn't just fly far, it flies far, while maintaining the energy needed to maneuver aggressively even at the end of its flight envelope. Adversary pilots can't simply outrun it or wait for it to run out of steam. The Meteor keeps coming with lethal efficiency. The years of operational experience with Meteor have allowed Typhoon operators to refine their tactics and squeeze even more performance from the system through continuous software and integration upgrades. The combination has created what many defense experts are calling the most capable, beyond visual range combat system currently operational. The missile has a reported range exceeding 200 kilometers in optimal conditions, though the exact figures remain classified. What isn't classified is the fact that this range significantly exceeds comparable weapons like the American AIM-120A MRA-AM or the Russian R-77. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Meteor isn't just integrated with the Typhoon's weapon systems. It's networked with the ECRS Mark II radar and the jet's advanced data link systems, creating a cooperative engagement capability that allows one Typhoon to guide a Meteor fired from another aircraft. Imagine a scenario where multiple Typhoons are operating as a coordinated unit. One jet can remain safely out of detection range while another closes in, and yet the hidden aircraft can still prosecute targets using missiles fired from its wingman. This level of tactical flexibility is the stuff of nightmares for opposing forces. The missile's active radar seeker also means it's a fire-and-forget weapon, allowing Typhoon pilots to engage multiple targets in quick succession without having to maintain lock on any single adversary. In a contested airspace scenario where speed and decisiveness matter, this capability provides a decisive edge. While much of modern air combat has become a game of radar signatures and electronic emissions, the upgraded Typhoon brings back an old concept with bleeding-edge technology: infrared search and track, or IRST. The passive infrared airborne track equipment, mercifully abbreviated to PIRATE, gives the Typhoon a completely passive sensor system that can detect and track targets without emitting any electronic signals whatsoever. This is huge! In an age where electronic warfare has become incredibly sophisticated and adversaries are equipped with systems designed to detect and counter radar emissions, having a sensor that operates in complete radio silence is like having a superpower. The PIRATE system can detect the heat signature of enemy aircraft from their engines and airframe friction at ranges approaching 100 kilometers, all while the Typhoon remains electronically invisible. The latest upgrade to PIRATE, integrated into the Typhoon fleet starting in 2023, includes enhanced algorithms and improved sensor resolution that dramatically increase the system's effectiveness. The system can now classify targets based on their infrared signatures, distinguishing between different aircraft types and even identifying specific threats based on their heat profiles. What makes PIRATE particularly valuable is its immunity to electronic countermeasures. You can jam a radar, you can spoof electronic sensors, but you can't jam infrared radiation. As long as an aircraft has engines producing heat, the PIRATE system can see it, track it, and provide targeting data to the Typhoon's weapon systems. The tactical applications are profound. In a scenario where opposing forces are employing heavy electronic warfare, making radar-based sensors unreliable or useless, the Typhoon with PIRATE can continue operating with full situational awareness. Perhaps the most significant upgrade to the Typhoon isn't hardware at all. It's the complete overhaul of the aircraft's software architecture to enable continuous capability updates throughout the jet's service life. The upgraded Typhoon now operates on what's called a Modular Open Systems Approach, or MOSA, which allows new capabilities to be integrated rapidly without requiring extensive recertification processes. This is revolutionary for several reasons. Traditional fighter aircraft are locked into technology standards from their design era, making upgrades expensive, time-consuming, and sometimes impossible due to compatibility issues. The new software architecture treats the Typhoon as a constantly evolving platform where new sensors, weapons, and systems can be integrated as they become available. The British Royal Air Force demonstrated this capability in early 2024 when they successfully integrated a new electronic warfare suite into their Typhoon fleet in a matter of months rather than years. This agility and capability development means the Typhoon can respond to emerging threats faster than ever before, ensuring that the aircraft remains relevant as the threat environment evolves. The software also enables AI-assisted decision support and automation to be deployed in combat systems, providing pilots with predictive threat analysis, optimized weapons employment recommendations, and automated sensor management that reduces pilot workload while increasing effectiveness. The AI-assisted systems don't replace the pilot's decision-making authority, but serve as incredibly sophisticated support tools that process vast amounts of data and present actionable intelligence in real time. It's like having the world's most capable weapons officer sitting beside you, analyzing every aspect of the battle space and offering recommendations while you maintain complete control. Range has always been a consideration for European fighters, designed primarily for the defense of European airspace where distances are relatively modest compared to the vast expanses of the Pacific. But the upgraded Typhoon has addressed this limitation head-on with the development and integration of conformal fuel tanks that dramatically extend the aircraft's operational range without sacrificing its aerodynamic performance or stealth characteristics. Traditional external fuel tanks create significant drag and increase radar cross-section, forcing pilots to choose between range and performance. The conformal tanks being tested and integrated onto the Typhoon site flush against the fuselage, following the aircraft's natural contours and minimizing aerodynamic penalties. Flight tests conducted in 2023 demonstrated that these tanks can increase the Typhoon's combat radius by approximately 25%, while adding minimal drag compared to traditional external tanks. This upgrade transforms the Typhoon from a primarily defensive fighter into one capable of long-range offensive operations. For nations like the United Kingdom operating in support of NATO commitments or protecting interests in regions far from home bases, this extended range provides strategic flexibility that was previously impossible without aerial refueling support. The conformal tanks are also designed to be jettisoned in flight if necessary, meaning that if a Typhoon pilot needs to enter combat with maximum performance, they can drop the tanks and immediately revert to the aircraft's full kinematic potential. The proof of any weapon system's capabilities isn't just in specifications and test flights. It's in whether other nations are willing to invest their defense budgets in acquiring it. And the upgraded Typhoon has seen remarkable export success that speaks volumes about its capabilities. Qatar, Kuwait, and most recently Saudi Arabia have all either purchased or upgraded their Typhoon fleets to incorporate these new capabilities. These aren't nations making purchasing decisions lightly. They operate in some of the most contested and dangerous airspace in the world. And they've concluded that the upgraded Typhoon provides the capabilities they need to ensure air superiority. Perhaps most tellingly, several nations that operate mixed fleets, including both American and European aircraft, have chosen to prioritize Typhoon upgrades, suggesting that in certain mission profiles, the Typhoon is now the preferred platform even when alternatives are available. This vote of confidence from operators who have direct experience with competing systems cannot be ignored. The upgraded Eurofighter Typhoon sends a clear message that Europe is serious about maintaining independent air combat capabilities at the highest level. While transatlantic cooperation remains important, the Typhoon program demonstrates that European aerospace and defense industries can produce world-class systems that compete with anything developed elsewhere. This isn't just about national pride. It's about strategic autonomy and ensuring that European nations have the technological capabilities to defend their interests independently if necessary. The Typhoon upgrade program represents an investment in that future, and the results are speaking for themselves. As we look toward an increasingly complex and contested future where air superiority can never be taken for granted, The upgraded Eurofighter Typhoon stands as proof that innovation, collaboration, and commitment to excellence can produce capabilities that shock the world and redefine what's possible. The European giant is awake, and it's more lethal than anyone imagined. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.